Oh wow, I didn't think I'd get the same GTA experience on a console as I would on the PC, but you know what? It works. The controls work, the visuals are insanely good. I mean, not only does it work, it's a pleasure to play. We have a game that looks good, it sounds good, and plays good. I started my GTA 5 career off by pressing one wrong button. Yes, that one. My second tutorial instruction, and I pressed the shoot button instead of the aim button. Whoops, mission failed, hostage died. Well, my bumbling aside, the game is great. I did about 10 storyline missions in 3 hours, got a haircut in game, and experienced what is truly a masterpiece. I mean, hell. I found this random person in a square after rescuing someone on a boat, right? So this person randomly goes, hey, you have some weed, so you take the weed, and then you're minigunning imaginary aliens. I says to my friend, I says, well, that's a bit of Saints Row there, man. The controls took a bit of getting used to, but then this is my first console-controlled GTA. After now, I had most of the buttons down, but I occasionally still pushed something I didn't mean to. The characters you control all end up having individual personalities that manage to come across okay. There are an insane amount of radio stations you can choose from, and though I haven't unlocked them yet, I can tell there's a lot of weapon variety. Actually, you can even buy different body armor types. RPG elements are back in the form of skills that you can improve by repeatedly doing things and or doing them better. Shooting gets you better accuracy, more bullets, and is increased by spending time in shooting galleries or popping heads off. Slightly helped by the fact that merely pressing the aim button near an enemy will auto-aim on their chest for you. All you have to do is slightly press up and bang, free headshot. Naturally, the writing is also back and better than ever. Though not as downright insane as some other games I could mention, there is a lot of charm and humor in this game, including one vaguely something other than American character repeatedly calling everyone a racist. Even when you're not insulting him. Well, the game teaches you what to do without holding your hand and is fun as hell. Most importantly though, the cars. The cars drive properly. No longer do they uselessly skid around, pretending to have weight to them. You can take a quarter now, it won't drift or be annoying, and it's the best thing ever. Rent it, buy it, get it.
I'm going to try not to slather layer upon layer of praise on this game. Why? Because I like a challenge. So on that note, mechanically, this game can be a bit awkward. The controls are intuitive once you get used to them, but on occasion it feels like Rockstar had a bit too much to fit in to be able to make it accessible. Press L3 once to go into stealth mode, then press punch to stealth kill, but only while you're locked on with L2, which you have to hold down, and you can flick the right stick to change lock on, but only if you're already locked on. But if you hold the stick in one direction for more than a millisecond, you go into free look mode, and so shooting is serviceable, but not outstanding. We did play the console version after all, but that's only one piece of the huge interlocking jigsaw. Driving now. Driving feels great. One of GTA 4's problems was that the driving just didn't feel as sweet as the previous entries in the series. GTA 5 fixes it and then some. I could spend so long just ignoring everything, stealing cars and zooming around the town. The town is gorgeous, and there's nature and shit, and big buildings and little buildings and nooks and alleyways. You can totes ride the subway even, detail. But, yes, but, there's something kind of neutral about it. The more realistic and enormous these sandbox games make their cities, the harder it is to engage with them. GTA 3's Liberty City, Vice City, even San Andreas' map, I pretty much knew them all like the back of my hand. These days, I find myself leaning on the GPS no matter how much I play. The layouts just don't stick in my mind somehow. The GTA games have always had excellent radio material, except perhaps GTA 4, which was a little underwhelming. And 5 has an absolutely huge selection of radio stations for you to tune into while taking a joyride. However, what I tend to be most interested in with any new GTA games is the talk radio, and this instalment doesn't fail to deliver. Laszlo is back, of course, and the radio shows are satirical, witty, acerbic, insane, and very, very funny.
This guy's an asshole. With me, you know from the beginning, I want to be your asshole.
And something has to be said about the writing in this game. I don't know how well written the overarching plot will eventually be, but the dialogue is just superb. Slick, amusing, entertaining and engaging, the script for this game really shines. And considering how goddamn much script there is, well, I haven't come across a dud line yet. That's quite an achievement. The devs do seem to have gone for accessibility, trying to streamline mechanics and make them as fun and intuitive as possible, which is good, but sometimes they go too far. There's a feature that lets you completely skip missions or checkpoints if you get too stuck, and that's stupid. This feature should never exist. People who use this feature are bad people. You're bad. Why are you even playing a game if you don't want to play a game? Grand Theft Auto 4 came under a lot of criticism for some of the creative choices and some of the mechanical implementations, and it seems like 5 does actually still have plenty to turn people off. It is quite easy to be critical of GTA games, but that's only because they're so huge. Something with this scope is bound to have aspects that annoy people. After all, the more features you have, the more likely it is that at least one of those features will be disliked by someone. If you are the sort of person who will let 1 or 2 bad things ruin 50 or so great things for you, well, you're doomed to a life of misery, and also GTA 5 probably isn't for you. However, it's abundantly clear that this game has some orgasmically intense fun to offer if you'll only let it.